Every president has a special legacy. For John, it's really coming into this era of changes in society, changes in science engineering, where technology is going. And I think he's done it really well by leading the NAE, for that matter, engineering field to move into this really important era of technology.
If you were to get up in the morning and write down everything, including what you're doing right now, it comes from engineering. From the clothes you wear, the food you eat, the cameras you're taking pictures with, everything is engineering. Engineering touches people, and I think the NAE is really important because it emphasizes how it touches people and it advances technology that's going to help people. I grew up in Wilmington, Delaware. I was born at the same hospital that my wife was born in, but we didn't meet until 18 years later. My father and mother never got past the 8th grade. They were immigrant children, and they both quit school and worked to support the rest of the family. So they really couldn't give me much guidance. Neither one was scientifically or mathematically inclined. But I had this wonderful high school, and I had classmates whose parents were professional engineers and scientists, and that's what really got me interested. I knew when I was a senior in high school that I was going to major in either science or engineering. Now the question is, why did I pick chemical engineering instead of chemistry? And people said, gee, if you like math and chemistry and physics, you should be a chemical engineer. And secondly, chemical engineers do well in the job market. And we had a lot of love in my family. We had no money. Now, the route to a professor was different. I really had no interest in being a professor. But the Vietnam War was raging, and I was going to be drafted. I got commissioned at the University of Illinois as a second lieutenant. And then when I was looking for a job, I found out that no companies would hire me because I couldn't tell them when I would start, because I thought I was going to have to go on active duty when I finished my degree. Several universities offered me a position. I said, well, I'll do that for a couple years. So that's how I ended up in academia. I was there 48 years. And I started as assistant professor and ended up as president of the university, and I had every job in between, and I loved it.
I'm a chemical engineer myself, so I knew of John Anderson when I was a studying assistant professor. It is very important that we put the appropriate guidelines in place to make sure that technology moves in a direction that it is useful for the humanity, and I think John is doing this in an exceptional way.
John is just a very thoughtful, engaged leader. He is thoroughly steeped in the culture of engineering.
John's been very clear in his values. So from making sure engineering is seen as a major driving force, but also he's actually been very interested in the issue of diversity. So under John, I think maybe for the first time, there's a creation of a diversity committee.
Part of it was to make people aware that minorities need visibility. I think that's one of the most significant things that happened in my presidency, was to form that committee. The National Academy of Engineering hasn't grown in size. We still have about 2,400 members, but it's grown in terms of its diversity. 5,500 members have been elected since its founding in 1964. The first 1,500, there were only 12 women out of 1,500. Now, this year, 1 out of 3 elected was a woman. So we've made great strides in diversity. I'd like to be remembered as a leader who listened, and as a leader who worked hard at advancing the National Academy of Engineering in several dimensions.
John just has had so many of the premier leadership roles that, honestly, it was no surprise to me at all that the Virterbi School would honor him.
Anytime your name is associated with Professor Viterbi, you got to feel good about that, even if it's the Virterbi School carrying his name. And so to have my name on that list with him attached to Virterbi and USC feels awfully good.